So, what's your name?
My name is Kaylacox.
How old are you?
I am almost 20
Cool. And why couldn't we do this yesterday?
because I was a little bit hungover.
I graduated 2006 from Burnaby Central, and I was involved in the concert band, the concert choir, the vocal jazz choir, and I also, in grade 12, was lucky enough to be in the British Columbia Honor Choir.
I'm Loretta. I have been friends with Kayla since grade 8. We met in French class with Miss Madame Tellard, and it was pretty amusing. She actually was moved because she talked too much with someone in the back, and I was sitting in the front, and she moved next to me, and it was like, oh god, I don't want to sit next to her. I'm like all shy, and she thinks I'm a freak, and she still does, I think, but I think that's why she likes me. So it worked out pretty good, and like within a week we were writing like BFF on each other's binders, best friends forever. It was like, oh yay, I have friends.
My name is Taryn Gilstead. I'd known Kayla all throughout high school. She was kind of like my older sister. She kept me in line. She called me on my bullshit, and when I needed to be called on my bullshit, which was really quite a lot.
We kind of like were a group of like outcasts that didn't really fit anywhere, but found home in each other, and so it was really great.
I ended up working at La Senza Express. I had an interview on the spot, and not too long after that I was promoted to assistant manager, which was very cool. I felt very important. And then, unfortunately, I had to leave La Senza because of getting sick.
I went to the doctors once and was like, oh, I have this pain in my knee, and they're like, oh, they bent it around a little. They're like, oh, it's nothing really. It's probably like tendonitis or something like that. And they're like, yeah, there's a tumor. And right away I started freaking out. And the doctor said that they're not sure what it is, but they're pretty sure that it's cancer. I started chemo pretty much a week after I was diagnosed with cancer. It was all very fast.
I remember I was visiting her at the hospital, and I was really nervous, like, oh god, I don't know what to say, and like, you know, I want to be there for her, but like, oh, what do I do? But I was there, and it was just like completely normal. Like, it's still the same old Kayla that I love, and that, you know, we're still great friends.
I hadn't seen a lot of my friends for a while because I had been working and stuff like that, so seeing them all when I was in the hospital, I was like, well, I really need to get back in touch with these people. Like, they're doing so much for me. My parents were there every day, making sure I was okay. They bring me Slurpees. They had anything I wanted, because the hospital food was absolutely horrible, so they'd bring me food from the outside world.
We had like 2 buckets, like baking buckets, the plastic ones, and we'd switch between them, and we'd throwing up, and they'd go and they'd empty it up and rinse it out and bring it back.
The surgeon, Dr. Clarkson, he called. He said there's a chance that the tumor is spreading. We need to do some more x-rays and stuff like that. Pretty much said it was my decision if I wanted to lose my leg or not. I didn't want to go through this all again, so I just said, you know what, just do it as high up as you need to, because I just don't want to go back. And then that was pretty much, I decided a week before surgery that was what's going to happen.
I had just turned 19. So, like, I was just starting to become an adult. I had my own job. I was doing really well, and then I got sick, and it was like being a little kid again. So I had to have mommy and dad here to take care of me.
I really wanted to be able to be there for her, because like, friends are so important, and I think that, you know, she's such a strong, amazing person, and I'm so proud of her, and like, I admire so much of her just ability to power through all of this, because, you know, not once did I ever hear her complain or cry about it, and, you know, she was always like really strong and really powered through, and like, I had no doubt in my mind that she would get through this, like, not for 1 second.
I don't think any one of us doubted that she'd be able to, if not beat cancer, at least give it a good run for its money, you know?
I am now going through physiotherapy. I'm not really sure how long it's going to take. I'm in the process of getting a prosthetic leg.
My name is Linda McLaren, and I'm a physiotherapist that specializes in the rehabilitation of people who wear a prosthesis, people that have an amputation. I've been working with Kayla for a couple of months. She started coming to see me after she finished her last round of chemotherapy, and her hair had all fallen out.
Girls love their hair, and you could ask like any girl, and they would not want to be bald. So I'm happy to wear a wig today. I was with my parents once, and I was wearing this blue dress that was fairly low cut, and we were going across the street, and this group of guys were like walk by, and they like stare at my chest. Then they look down and realize I have one leg. Stare at my chest again, and don't understand. They don't know what to do with it, like how to deal with it. They're like, giant boobs but no leg. I don't understand.
And then I got to go home and see my cat, who I'd missed so much the past 2 weeks, and he'd missed me, so he snubbed me because he thought I did it on purpose to him or something.
I remember talking with my parents about like one of the things I said that I would probably miss the most is like feeling the cat rub up against my leg. Like I get it on the other side, but it's still like it's weird.
I don't really, well, I do care when people stare. I get a little irritated, like I'll stare back at them, or getting on public transit's one of the worst because on SkyTrains there's no one there to tell someone, like, this is the wheelchair spot, you have to move, like the wheelchair belongs here. So I will talk like, oh, people these days, they're so rude, and like loud enough for them to hear and be like, we know it, and we know you know that you're supposed to move.
I would much prefer someone that like come up to me and ask me really politely than just like gawk at me while I go past them in the mall.
If I didn't have my friends or my family, I probably would have just, shriveled up and not really had much of the desire to do anything.
So she's not going to walk as fast as she did before. She's going to walk slower, and she may get quite tired from walking just because she is having to walk with this artificial leg. So that would be something that's important for her friends and family to know, that that her speed and her endurance is going to be different. I never really know what people are going to be capable of, and lots of times when I don't ever draw a line and say this is as far as you're going to get. I just that line doesn't exist. It's for people to decide that themselves, where they want to draw their own line.
You have to have that positive attitude to be like, no, I'm going to get through this, because you can like do it, right? Like the willpower and mind power does actually help all that, and that's why I think I did a lot better than most people would have done with it, because I was able to have that strong willpower.
My long-term goals are I want to go to school for music therapy, and I want to rejoin a choir because I really miss singing in a choir.
Now I know like it is a near-death experience, right? And it makes you more look at the world kind of in a different way, and like friends are really important, family is really important. Like as much as it was a terrible thing that happened, it did make me realize those things. Like
my dad said to pick up guys, and so I should say, I can do things girls with 2 legs can't.